it was brought to my attention that the review world, and that means like, anyone that's leaving reviews out there, and we're talking about Etsy, are things going to change? Is this the end of reviews? Well, actually, Chris Schaefer just brought it to my attention this morning that there may be something that's going to happen, not just with Etsy, but just reviews in general. And this could be, I don't know if it will be, but this could be the end of reviews. And could it really be? So Chris, can you fill me in, please?
And Scott, this one comes to us directly from the White House. Obviously not to us. Like, I'm not that important. They didn't email this to me, but because of all of the things that we do, this popped up and showed up on our radar. And on August 12th, the White House, meaning the president of the United States and all of the associated people, announced that they are launching an effort to crack down on everyday headaches and hassles that waste Americans' time, money. And I think they're even calling this, Scott, because everything political needs to have a good, catchy name, the Time is Money initiative. And there's a lot of things in here that are beneficial for a lot of different people. And, a lot of the news about this was talking about, you can now like easily cancel Netflix. Cool. But that doesn't mean anything for e-commerce sellers, right? Like a lot of that wasn't very difficult in most cases anyway. They are making cancellations and memberships easier. So like no more signing up for Gold's Gym and them charging you forever and ever and ever because you had to find a one-eyed rabbi to sign your letter, right? And then mail it to them, right? That's going away if they get their way with the FTC. But from an e-commerce perspective, there were a few things that were important to us. And the biggest thing was, and you may remember this, two things, actually. The first is they're cracking down on what they call customer service doom loops. So basically they're saying, hey, if you're offering like customer service, you have to actually be responsible to people and responsive to people. And this, I don't think will really be as big of a deal for e-commerce sellers, but it's something, especially in the Etsy ecosystem, that we need to think about anyway. So Etsy helps score us, right? We have the star seller score on how responsive we are when customers email us. Yeah. We need to make sure that we're responsive for this. And really what they're talking about here is like phone support. You don't have to listen to a 30-minute message before you can actually say something. They want you to be able to do that. Hopefully, from an Etsy seller perspective, this means that Etsy's phone support will improve if you can get somebody on the phone at Etsy. But the biggest two things that really applied here were ensuring accountability for companies that provide bad service. So if we're not helping people on the customer service side, they're going to be rolling out some things through the FTC that will mean that companies are responsible for that. Now, we don't know exactly what those implications are until that happens, but that was the first thing that stuck out to me. The second thing that really stuck out to me here, and I need to see if I can find it in this specific article, was they're reviving an old FTC proposal. And you may remember this from last year, right? FTC, I think it was the spring of last year, the Federal Trade Commission came out and said, hey, we're going to propose a new rule about reviews and soliciting illicit reviews or endorsements, fake reviews, suppressing honest negative reviews, and some of these kinds of things, right? You can't pay for positive reviews because that's deceiving to customers about what real feedback around the product is. And this kind of fell off the face of the earth after the comment period expired last September, I think it was. But now that the White House is coming out and saying, hey, this is part of this Time is Money initiative, it means they are bringing this back to the table, and we can expect the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission in the US, to vote on this, which means they will be cracking down on reviews generally and the practice of asking for reviews. Now, the way that this is phrased is not that you can never ask for a review, right? But it's incentivizing reviews in any way. And so what are your thoughts on the implication of this for e-commerce as a whole, but specifically for Etsy sellers? Is this something Etsy sellers really need to be worried about? Or is it just kind of par for the course?
Yeah, I think it's par for the course. I think it's common sense too. Like I've never said, hey, give us a review and we'll give you 20% discount. Like I've just never went down that road. Although I know a lot of companies that do, and I still get packages in the mail that say, hey, leave us a 5-star review and we'll give you $20 off your next order, right? Like they're literally buying reviews in that case. So I've never done that, but I'm always sending a thank you email that will say something along the lines of, hey, Thanks so much for your order. We appreciate it. You know, if you have any questions, let us know. We always want to make sure that our customers are happy. And if you could do us a favor and just head on over and leave us a review on how we did, that would be amazing, right? That's it. You know, so we're not necessarily saying like, hey, go here. And if you give us a review, we'll give you this. Now, it's funny because even in the grocery store, they'll give you like something in return for if you fill out a survey, right? So, you know, if you fill out this survey, you can get a free sandwich, or you can get a free, like whatever, $20 off your next order of $100 or something like that if you fill out this survey. So they're kind of incentivizing you to actually do the survey because they know people won't do it unless you incentivize them. So I'm curious, like where, like, I guess you can still do surveys because that's kind of like, you know, it's not a review.
That's not customer facing, I guess, would be the excuse there. And I think really what they're talking about is, hey, leave us a review, get 20% off your next purchase, right? Or leave us a positive review.
Yeah.
And
5-star.
Right. And that was the trick. If you guys have been around the Brand Creators channel for a while, you may remember when Amazon made this change, right? And Amazon came out and everybody's like, oh my God, it's the end of selling on Amazon because you can't bribe people to leave reviews anymore. Guess what happened? Absolutely nothing, right? And so the FTC coming out and saying, hey, let's use some common sense here, folks. Probably not that big of a deal from a downside, right? Does this mean we can't ask for reviews? No. And I don't have the proposed rule pulled up. I did read through it at one point, Scott. Really what they're going after is fake and incentivized reviews. And so I see this only as an upside, because what this means is that you're going to see better reviews, theoretically at least, right? Assuming we implement the right version of this, we should be getting rid of the fake reviews, and it's going to be harder to game the review system because it's literally illegal at some point to say, hey, we'll give you 20% off if you leave a 5-star review. Or the alternative, if you get rid of your negative review or change your negative review, we'll give you something. Hey, it's future Chris here. And as can happen anytime we cover some breaking news, basically, as soon as we recorded this video, the FTC, the Federal Trade Commission, published a finalized version of this rule. And there were a couple things that really stuck out to me that I wanted to make very clear in terms of what is and is not allowed on platforms with reviews in general. Specifically, if you are selling something on a platform like Etsy or Amazon, we need to watch out for a few things that they discuss here. The beginning of this article from the FTC, or from this press release, they go through the whole history, and we talk about that in this video. But there's a few things that I think are key to understand, especially for e-commerce businesses. The first is that the final rule from the Federal Trade Commission makes it illegal to have any fake or false customer reviews, customer testimonials, or celebrity testimonials, right? So you can't say Joe Rogan loves my product unless Joe Rogan actually has given you that endorsement, right? You never really could. They're just making this as explicitly clear as possible. Where this can really affect, above board, for the most part, e-commerce sellers, is a lot of people will throw up like a 5-star rating or something like that. Even if they don't have 5 stars, they'll put it in one of their listing photos, something like that. We can't be doing that. We need to make sure that anything that is endorsed on our listing comes directly from the customer, and that we're complying with this rule. So fake and false stuff, that's completely out the window. The second thing, and they list this here, is buying positive or negative reviews, right? And you could say, okay, I get the point of buying positive reviews. Maybe I go to Fiverr and I get a bunch of people to go review my Etsy product, my Amazon product, or wherever it is that you're selling, so that I have higher stars. Or somebody gave me an unfair 1-star rating, and now I want to boost that because I don't think my product is 1 star. You can't be doing that. You also can't buy negative reviews. So you can't have a bunch of people go to your competitor's product and leave a negative review and say, hey, your product is better. That's explicitly off limits now as of the recording of this video. The other thing, and I think this is the biggest thing here for e-commerce businesses, Etsy sellers, is that the final rule prohibits any insider reviews and customer testimonials. So obviously, you can't review your own stuff and do that because you're a little bit biased. And if we read the first giant section of this here, it says it prohibits reviews by officers or managers. So people who actually own and run the business. But where this is really important to understand for people who are selling on Amazon or on Etsy is that you also need to be very careful with immediate relatives and the solicitation of reviews from immediate relatives. One of the questions that Scott and I get asked all the time is, hey, can't I just go have my friends and family buy my product and leave me a review? That'll get me over that initial review hump, and then I don't have to worry about it. We've always been kind of against that for a variety of different reasons that we don't need to get into this video. It screws up the SEO algorithm. It does a whole bunch of stuff that you don't need to mess with. But the main reason that people were doing that, yes, to get a little bit of sales data behind their Etsy products. But the main reason people really do that is to have their friends or family or someone that they ask directly to leave a review. So if you know the person, what they're saying now is, if you're the owner or manager of the business, you probably want to stay away from that. And they're saying when employees or agents solicit reviews from relatives, or such solicitations result in reviews by immediate relatives of the employees or agents of the business. So do not be going to your friends and family to get reviews. Not only is it a bad idea for a variety of different reasons, but it's now considered to be a spammy or scammy review under the FTC and can get you in a heck of a lot of trouble. And so what are your thoughts on dealing with negative reviews? Because one of the sub points here was suppressing honest negative reviews or paying for positive feedback, right? So we addressed the paying for positive feedback. We can't do that.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be doing that anyway. It's just silly.
Yeah.
What about the suppressing negative reviews? How should we handle a negative review?
Okay, so if we're talking Etsy itself, the way that we've always addressed it, and I don't believe we're going to change, is if someone leaves a negative review, number one, I'm going to see it and I'm going to reach out to that customer and I'm going to say, hey, I just saw you left a 3-star review because the product came a different color, or it came with a spot on it, or it came with the wrong size or whatever. I would then address that and say, I really wish you would have reached out to us, but I wanted to reach out to you to let you know we'll take care of it. Like, let me send you another one at no cost. You don't even have to send the other one back. I just want to make sure that you're happy, because that's what we're all about. And if you read through all of our other reviews, you'll see we have a lot of happy customers. So would you be okay with me doing that? Like, I would ask a question back and then see what they say. And we've done this, and people will go, oh my gosh, thank you so much. I'm not used to people, messaging me back, or from from Etsy or from Amazon or wherever. Yeah, that would be amazing. I'm sorry I left that negative review. I'll go change it now. Like, they'll literally offer to go change it. I didn't ask them to. I'm just over delivering and showing them that I'm responsive and that I'm going to take care of them. Now, if that doesn't do anything and they're just like, no, I leave in my review and I don't care, I don't want your products anymore, then I'll just go over to the review at that time. And that's where we would then comment on the review and say, hey, I really wish you would have reached out to us. And I would basically say something similar in that, to show the people that are reading it that I'm listening and that I tried to make it right. But I would not do that until I've already tried to do it behind the scenes, because once you do leave a mark on that, or a remark on that review, you can't change it. Like, it doesn't, it's kind of like, now it's concrete, it's in there. So nothing's going to really change as far as that goes. I just think if you can be open and honest and transparent and show that you want to go the extra mile, and you know what, you might lose money on that deal. It's okay, because you're going to make way more on a positive review than you are on that negative review. Right. So that's how I look at it. But some people are like, but I want them to send it back to me. I don't want them to have to. It's like, seriously, like, let's think about this for a second. We don't want to make that person any more unhappy, any more unhappy than they already are. Right. So we want to do whatever we can. So just eat it, because you're going to lose sales by not doing that.